Welcome back to How It's Made. Did you know that some hot air balloon baskets are more than 6 meters long and carry more than 30 people? The bigger the basket, the more passenger compartments it has, preventing people from toppling over each other during bumpy landings. Some say you'd have to be a basket case to get in the first place. First, you build the frame. Workers cut pieces of tubing made of stainless steel. They manually round the corner pieces, then assemble the frame by welding all the parts together. They cut a sheet of plywood for the floor, then drill holes in it for stainless steel support cables. The cables reinforce the floor against the weight of the passengers. After marking off the area that the basket walls will occupy, workers run the cables under the overturned floor, leaving extra on both ends to come up the sides of the basket. Then they notch a groove, the width of the cables, in runners, lengths of ash wood that protect the base of the basket and give it rigidity. After bolting the runners down, workers use a branding iron to burn the company logo into the floor. Then they spray on a coat of lacquer to prevent moisture from rotting the wood. Larger baskets need diagonal reinforcement cables for extra support. The basket walls are made of cane, the stiff stems of a tropical Asian plant. The cane soaks overnight in a water tank. By morning, it's supple, and the weavers can begin their craft. They start by installing uprights, attaching each one to the frame at the top and bottom with a thin piece of cane. Then they feed the support cables from the floor up through the frame. The uprights are 45 centimeters apart along the sides and 10 centimeters apart around the corners. The weavers fill the gaps with thinner uprights every 5 centimeters. Then they tie them to the frame and floor with rope. With all the uprights installed, it's time to build the basket walls from the bottom up by interlacing horizontal canes. A pair of weavers can finish a small basket in a day, whereas large baskets can require a 4-person team and take up to 3 weeks to weave. They use 2 techniques: randing, going in and out with 1 cane, and whaling, weaving 3 canes at once. Whaling makes a more solid basket, but one that's significantly heavier because it requires triple the amount of cane. Some models have stainless steel steps woven into the basket. These give passengers a foothold when climbing in and out. The weaving ends just below the top of the frame. To finish, they split the remainder of each upright down the center with a utility knife, then flatten and wrap what's left around the frame. The weavers integrate rope handles at the top of the basket, giving passengers something to hold onto during the ride. They also put handles at the bottom for carrying the basket. Now they pad the frame with foam, cutting holes to let the support cables through. The foam is for both comfort and safety. It cushions the hard metal during a bumpy ride. After taping the foam pieces together to prevent shifting, they slip on a leather cover and thread a polyester lace through the eyelets to close it up. Finally, with a few bangs of the hammer, they expose the short tubing to which the load frame will connect. The load frame carries the burners high above the basket. A heating coil surrounds each burner. To make it, they wrap a stainless steel tube around a form, then rivet on a reinforcement band. The basket carries lightweight fuel tanks containing cold liquid propane. The propane flows upward into the coil. When the pilot fires up a burner, the flame heats the coil, transforming the propane flowing inside from liquid to gas. The gas feeds the flame, which heats the air inside the balloon. Hot air is lighter than cool air, so the balloon responds by rising to the occasion. Up, up, and away.